Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes, sir.
Today we talking about the culture again right here. The Wire. A show that came out on HBO. It had 5 seasons. This was a fan favorite, a streets classic favorite crime show.
Not mafia, but
man, it's a 20-year anniversary of The Wire.
Yes.
damn.
Wow, it just takes you back to that time when this show came out and it just connected. It was just something about it that just connected and was loved. Just loved.
Talk to him,
by This was the first show, I'll say this right now. This is the first show that was a weekly, like a weekly show that came out with a new episode that seasons were bootlegged entirely. I don't recall a show where the whole season was bootlegged in the beginning of the season before the episodes even came out. Power and all that was after this.
This was when like the internet was big and people from inside too, they was like leaking episodes and stuff. It was heavy.
So doing the barbershop with the whole season and it just came out. This is how big this show was in the streets, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was crazy. What about The Wire? The show The Wire makes it a fan favorite to this day.
Because it's relevant. It's relevant for the neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? It's relevant if you from this type of life.
Baltimore City.
You know what I'm saying? Baltimore. It's taking us inside Baltimore because we never, the Baltimore thing was not too many people know about it.
Actually, HBO had a series before The Wire called The Corner.
The Corner. It was a mini series. It was like 6 episodes, and I think people show interest in that.
That got the ball,
and then it got the ball. It got the ball rolling
for The Wire.
Yeah, and The Corner was dope, and it had the same kind of themes, drugs, all that. And I think that kind of it's a market for this.
My man from the Wood, he was the main star. Sean,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I watched The Corner was dope too.
The dude with the Popeye arms, big hands.
Here's a little history about The Wire though.
Talk to him.
It's a crime drama television series created and primarily written by author, which was a former police reporter, David Simon. The series came out on HBO, and The Wire premiered on June 2nd, 2002, and it ended on March 9th. 2008. It had 60 episodes over 5 seasons. The idea of the show started out as a police drama loosely based on the experiences of David Simon's writing partner, Ed Burns, a former homicide detective and public school teacher. So that you can actually see that from some of the subject matter on the show. They had the teaching element, then they added the detective element, so you can see where that came from. It was set and produced in Baltimore, Maryland. The Wire introduced a different element of the city and its relationship to law enforcement in each season. The characters on the show grew with this expanded storyline. So it seemed like every season they brought a new element of the city. You had the streets, then you had the cops, then you had the docks. The docks thing. Then you go to like the newspaper. Then you go to the school system. So every season, the media, political field, the media,
it took you there.
Yeah. So it was just adding to this storyline. It just kept on adding and growing every year. That was dope.
But it all made sense because it's like, all right, so season 1 you got the streets. It's like, all right, we're gonna learn about streets, but then we're gonna learn about the docks on the next season, which is like a whole nother element, but it's still in the same, which is still in the same city.
Bigger noise.
Then it's like the next season you're talking about the politics and all that stuff,
but then it connects too. It all kind of connects.
And
it's dope. Like then you got the kids. This is why the kids are all fucked up because all these things are making the system messed up. So it's all one big circle.
And David Simon chose to do the show in Baltimore because of the familiarity he had, how familiar he was with the city. Each season of the series expanded its focus on a different part of the city. It featured a large cast. It had a super big cast. Many characters are only featured primarily in one season. A group of characters, like it kind of was centered around the police department the most, and then the streets. Then you had the
branch. Each sector of the whole thing. I think it hit it with a valuable enough, you know what I'm saying, play. But I think that when they went to the docks needed that attention to show you what's going on the docks to let you know that everything is in play. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So when it went to the docks, it just went to another level as far as behind the scenes and, into the whole situation. I didn't really dig it too much when they went too political because I'm not like a politics guy, but I understood it. But I just thought that the politic part could have blended in with everything else that was coming. But that Doc situation was very critical to the wire.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. The Doc, I see the importance of the story, the big picture of the story. But the Doc, after coming from the streets in the first season, the Doc kind of slowed it up to me. Like, damn, I wanted to see more of the streets because there wasn't a lot of the streets in the Doc season.
But with the Docs, you start seeing the big bosses.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Like the Greek, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Greek, you start seeing the people that's really putting that shit out there by megatons. You know what I'm saying?
Really getting the product in.
When you win this type game, your point is to not be seen and to be on top. And one thing about them Greek jokers, man, they was moving out. I don't know who their intel was, but they was not getting caught up in nothing, man.
And you couldn't catch them. As soon as you even got close to them, they disappeared.
Phone, everything.
But also with the Docs, it's like you don't want to kind of lock yourself into, this is just a street show.
Right.
And it's like people that actually maybe work there or live, they like, okay, now I can start watching it because it's not just focused on these black kids and, you know what I'm saying, like just doing street stuff that I don't even care about. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like you just getting more people to tune in and watch it.
Yeah, this was heavy, man. Wow. Some of it's so many characters, but just to highlight some of the main characters, you got one of my favorites, Detective Jimmy McNulty, Dominic
name a fucking cop first. This nigga name a cop first, one of his favorites.
The cops was the main character.
But you name the cop first. Fuck him, Avon, man. Avon Barksdale is supposed to be named
as much
first.
as Avon Barksdale, we love him, he's not a main character of the show. He's really a supporting and a big picture of the show.
Yeah, I understand that, but
how can we name him first?
But he made.
I understand you want to just go with the
it's
streets.
cool though. It's cool though.
It's a show.
Officer Carl.
That's
how you feel.
Well, Avon Barksdale was played by Wood Harris. Of course, he got a lot of supporting roles in a lot of.
He's a great actor.
He's a great underrated actor.
Very
and he's a
underrated
part
actor.
of a lot of classic movies, but he's also a part of a classic show too. And it's funny because overall he does have a supporting role, but it's for the streets perspective. A lot of people look at it like it's his show. Like it was it's his show.
Yeah.
But overall, if you look at the whole thing, he was a supporting role. Yeah. But you have Lieutenant Cedric Daniels, Lance Reddick, Kima Gregg, Sanja San. I actually met her in real life. She came to Delaware.
Where at? Where you meet her at?
One of my old jobs. The cat. Some of the cat. Her and Bubbles. Bubbles, the dude that played Bubbles. They came to Delaware. Andre Rojo, they came to Delaware. I met them. Omar Little, man, Michael K. Williams, another rest in peace, another classic person. Stringer Bell, Idris Elba.
Yeah,
I never knew he wasn't from America.
I didn't know that at the end. I didn't know that during the time, but it made me respect him as an actor even more. Like for him to be able to play that role,
he was actually one of the first black dudes to come in and like infiltrate these American shows with that being from another country. And
he put in work, and I respect him, man. D'Angelo Barksdale was played by Larry Gillard Jr. Marlo Stansfield came in a little later, but Jamie Hector, he was like the next level. Method Man, Cheese. Proposition Joe, played by Preston Williams. Like
Michael B. Jordan, he was in
Michael
there.
B. Jordan got his start in here. Mac Wilds got his start and here, Ellis Carver with Seth Gilliam, Lester Freeman, one of the he was one of the smart dudes that played dumb all the time. Clark Peters,
my boy Clay Davis,
legend, great role.
My boy Chad Coleman. I don't know if y'all watch it. Probably don't, but. My man from The Walking Dead, he was on the show.
He did. He was on there.
A lot of
Roland Prez, Balowski, however you say his name, Jim True Ross, Deputy Commissioner Irvin Burrell, Frankie Faison. He played in a lot of movies too. Major William Rawls, John Doman, Assistant State's Attorney, Rhonda Perlman was DeAndre Lovejoy. Man, Bonk, that was my boy Moreland. It was Wendell Pierce. It's a lot of dope characters. It's too many to name, but it was a lot of dope. What was your favorite character though, or characters from The Wire?
Man, I'm gonna go with Avon in the I'm gonna go with Avon and the Avon Peoples from Brooklyn, the Muslim guy.
Brother Mousson, he was gangster.
He was gangster. He ain't play no games.
Brother
Mousson, man. He was a straight killer too.
Did not play no games.
Straight
yes,
killer.
He was.
I actually liked Mac Wild's character, Michael. It was cool seeing the dynamic of him growing up with his parents on drugs, whatever, but he's still looking out for his little brother and stuff. It's like just showing that dynamic of, you know what I'm saying, how drugs affect people's homes and he's still going to school and, you know what I mean, just caught up in the madness around him.
And he had every chance to like be a part of the organization. He ain't even want to.
Yeah.
He had they wanted him, and he ain't even want to be a part of it.
What about you?
My favorite is Stringer Bell. First off the top, Stringer Bell, because he was so smart and he was in the streets, but he was intelligent to like he had a whole business plan motto. Like it just shows how you can be in the streets, but you can really, if you just apply it to something else, how smart you can be. So he was in the streets selling drugs, but he had a whole business motto set up. He was going to school. He was intelligent, and he was just trying to get other people to get onto that, but they were just in the streets, man. They couldn't see his vision. I just think his character was great, and it's the fact that his accent and he was able to play that street role and to be believable was dope. I can't front. Omar was gang. I ain't never seen a gay character that gangster, that loved, that feared. He really brought something special to that character. That was just, and then McNulty was just hilarious. He broke all the rules.
Yeah,
he did
dirty
every
cop.
foul thing.
Dirty ass cop. Word.
He was knocking off the joint tonight. He was doing everything.
He is a dirty
McNulty
motherfucker.
didn't play nothing by the book, man. Those probably would be my three favorite. I like Avon too, but I like Stringer. I like Stringer mindset though. But
Chris and Snoop.
Snoop was gangster. Snoop was gangster. Chris was gangster too. I liked Marlo at the end. I like Marlo. He was like the young up and comer. For some reason, I always got 50 Cent vibes from Marlo. I don't know why. He just gave me 50 Cent type vibes out in the streets. But I don't know, man. How do you feel that Baltimore The Wire portrayed Baltimore like from outsiders? And we were outsiders, so we ain't from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Did seeing this make you want to go to Baltimore? Like, let's go to.
I actually go to Baltimore fairly a lot. That's like me and my wife, one of our spots. So, and it kind of just makes you kind of think The Wire all the time. And the people that I know from Baltimore, they like, nah, man, like it ain't like some of it is true, but that's not like they don't really want to just get boxed into the Wire perception like everybody, a lot of outside people see it. They don't really just want to be like, nah, we more than just The Wire.
Right.
Even though if you ride through certain spots, you definitely be like, damn, it looks like The Wire, like for real. But you know, how do you think Baltimore? You be going to Baltimore, you know, sometimes, freaks.
Yeah, I do, but you know, I just look at it. Well, Baltimore was already on the move, especially with them putting the focus on it. This was the focus that they put on it was kind of old. It was already this part kind of came and went over there. So, but it just was, you know, I was just happy to see it and for them to bring it into life. You know what I'm saying? But Baltimore is Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, just like anywhere else, it's going to be a lot of ghettos on the East Coast anyway.
What was it about The Wire that connected with like so many people? Particularly, let's be honest, it connected with the black audience a lot. And it wasn't just a whole black cast, but the show connected with the black street audience heavy.
I got a white supervisor I used to work for. He loved this show. It's one of his favorite shows of all time. Old white guy from Havertown. He's way into, like, he loved this show.
I just think it showed all areas of it.
Yeah,
Showed the police. Showed the council, showed the porch, like you said.
The media.
Then it showed the media, and then
Yeah.
it showed the fiends, it showed the youngins coming up. You know, it showed all of it.
But it also showed like the worst in everybody too. Like even though we think, oh, the news are always telling the truth and they're corrupt too. The politics that we vote for and they're corrupt. Some of the, you know,
it really showed that every element has a criminal side.
Yeah.
Every we always just blame it on the street dudes.
Yeah.
No, it's crooked cops.
Yeah.
No, it's people that's getting paid off in the media doing dirty stuff. Is crooked people. It's definitely crooked politicians. And
Definitely.
I was just in that area recently.
Politician shit is all the way.
And I was just in that area recently, and they still talking about how, hey, man, yeah, Baltimore, DC, they politicians they corrupt. They all corrupt. Like that's just how it is here. Somebody was telling me from there, like this just a month ago. Like yeah, that's how it is here. So like this is every part has a, and I think this is for the most part. I think that's the way it is everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I think every place has a some level of corruption, but I think The Wire, what set The Wire out to me is The Wire had great writing on there.
Yes,
great
Like,
writing.
the writing
great
on The
writing.
Wire was excellent, and the way they tied stuff together, it was almost like wow, like.
Great writing, great acting. It was bound to be a hit.
And it's like some shows, even like Power or something, where I felt like they would start to develop a storyline and then it just would happen real quick. Like The Wire really developed stories. Like
Some of the kids got older.
yeah,
as
it
they,
really
you know,
took you
took
on
its
a
time. It took
journey
its time.
to
and
develop.
and it felt real. Like,
Yeah.
like Power feels like, come on, man, he can't do that. This felt like, yo, and then also it was like you never knew like who was gonna die.
It showed real street situations.
Yeah.
You got it front line
Yeah.
with The Wire. You know what I'm saying?
And then also at the time it was like this had to be maybe HBO's third or fourth major series because you had Oz, The Sopranos, and then I feel like The Wire was next. Like big production, like shows that came out every week.
Yeah.
You know, so
And you got to understand, look at all the actors they had. This had to be a lot
of
look at
upcoming actors.
Listen to different settings. It wasn't just like all on the
Yeah.
block. You was in the police station. You was in
Yeah.
the docks. You was all over the place.
the corporate offices.
Yeah, like this. It was a lot. But the writing on here
Was extensive.
was
show.
superior.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was superior to me, and I think that's what kind of separated it from
From all the other shows.
from everything
Yeah.
else. When-
It puts you there. The writing puts you there where it's at. And if you from the streets and you seen certain things, it's like, damn, they got this out here front line for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But also, I don't think at the time nobody was making street shows like this.
yeah, it wasn't.
That was like big.
This was
production.
the start off. This was
Yeah.
the jump off. And they still can't duplicate it, but, you know, hopefully somebody come along and make something
Well, I
of it.
mean, you had a show like, but it came on Fox. You had a show like New York Undercover that showed the cops, and then it showed like,
ain't give
but,
you
but,
the
they, but
wire
they didn't have
shit.
HBO. They
Yeah,
had an
it
extended
wasn't
playing
cursing, people
field.
were getting
Yeah,
shot in
yeah.
the head.
You word.
So, yeah. I have a new show out called We Own the Night, which is
We on the city.
yeah, We Own the City. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much some of the characters that's actually, well, not the characters, some of the actors that's on The Wire. They're on the show as well. So
it good?
It's
really
very
dope.
very good.
It's actually the same. David Simon, the same guys behind it. It's pretty much the Wire theme, but it's just the police department.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
But it's different segments of the police department and the corruption within the police department. But that's the center. But it's based on a true story of Baltimore. This really happened in real life.
And recently they talk about like the Freddie Gray.
Yeah, this
all
is
that stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
this is
it's-
real. It's real life, but it's well written. It's a 6-part like
Really good acting,
miniseries,
too, yeah.
and a lot of the actors, at
Yeah.
least 10 actors from The Wire is. And the dope part about this is that they're like. It was a street dude in the Wire. He's like a cop now
Yeah.
on a new show. So
Yeah.
it's like they switching roles and
Yeah.
stuff. Like one of the dude, the big fat white guy that was like a detective cop. Now he was like the police commissioner in the new
Yeah.
one. So we own the city.
Yeah, We Own the
on
City.
HBO Max is dope. That's a dope show. But let's break down the different segments of this show. Let's go. Freaks want to go to the streets. Let's go to the street element. You had the Barksdale family, Avon Barksdale that ran that. Like, what made the Barksdale, and even in the beginning, you got Weebay, like you got the hitters out there.
Yep.
So what made this work? You got it's Avon.
They had a system.
It's Stringer Bell. It's his sister behind the scenes.
They had a system. Everybody played a role, and everybody was playing a role. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a system like that and it's well oiled, the only thing you can do, man, is somebody fuck up and get greedy or turn funny. You know what I'm saying? So it was big. It was real big.
Yeah, they started getting some. It got interesting, man. You had times where they was letting blocks just hustle, just sell drugs on on certain blocks. If you stayed in certain blocks,
Product was fucked up.
yeah, like it was just
The product. Well, you talking about the police?
yeah, the police.
Yeah, well, that was the dumb shit that they came up with and letting them. It was that area,
And they ain't trust. Of course, the hustlers. They're like, I don't
It was
trust
all about
this
the numbers.
Yeah,
It was all about the numbers.
Definitely
You know
all
what
about the
I'm saying?
numbers.
So
but I mean, in the beginning though, they were getting it. Avon and them,
Oh, yeah,
they was
yeah,
getting
yeah,
it, man.
yeah.
They was getting it.
it wasn't no competition for them like that. You know what I'm saying? It was other people, but Avon was so well respected and so powerful that they know they couldn't. Certain shit that Stringer Bell was doing, they knew that Avon wouldn't stand a chance with Avon. But Stringer Bell was thinking bigger because now he thinking about, way outside of the realms of selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he got caught up at. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a hustle, like Avon told him. You got hustle. Everybody hustling.
Well, they had the best of both worlds in the beginning. They had Avon
They did.
with the streets. Then they had Stringer Bell with the business.
Avon with the jail shit got funny.
Yeah, and then when Avon went to jail, Stringer just tried to make it all into a business. And you dealing with a bunch of street dudes. They ain't trying.
He dealing with a bunch of street dudes that they know that Avon, if Avon was there, he would have never fucked with him.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now he joining. He really believing in what is being said and what's going on that could really work. But it's just that the people that he went to go work with to make that shit work, Avon ain't fuck with them.
Right. And also he was trying to use he was taking classes and stuff. He was trying to use themes from like school on these street dudes, and they wasn't on that. They wasn't on that. And then plus, they had some of the top hitters out there in them streets as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like Weebay and them ain't play. They was taking everybody out. Like you was at a line.
real.
You was at a line, you had to go. Like word.
Yeah, I mean, to me that was dope seeing that dynamic of the smart guy versus the street guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was way ahead of his time. Like seeing something that on TV. So
And then his nephew wasn't built for the game. Like he tried to make his nephew, be next up, but his nephew wasn't really built for that. At the end of the day, like it wasn't his thing. They tried to make him something that he wasn't really. So what? Avon and Stringer almost is like Dame and Jay breaking up. If you was the, like make that equivalent to rap. Like what would you?
analogy.
What was the downfall of them to let eventually Marlo and his crew, the young boys, come up and take it from him, man? What would you think was the overall downfall
He got
of that relationship?
It was the for real, it was still Avon being stubborn because Avon was being stubborn with certain shit. And when it was coming to the light is that his people product wasn't as strong as the shit that everybody else was getting on the corners, and they was wondering where all the traffic was going. So now it's going to these areas, but Avon is locked up. Avon like, man, we gonna stick with what we sticking with. This where we going, boom, boom, boom. So Stringer knew that the numbers was going down, the shit wasn't moving, so he had to make a move, and that was the deal with people that Avon wouldn't have dealt with. Know what I'm saying? So that's what that was like big. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, a lot of shit started happening. He killed his nephew. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And
He was snitching though, but I mean he was going to snitch.
he didn't. He wasn't going to tell. He wasn't going to tell.
It was a concern, man. He
was concerned, but
talking
he
to
wasn't
him.
going to tell.
He was talking to him.
But his uncle was in there. Let his uncle handle that. You feel me? You don't do no shit like that. You don't make that call.
Well, he didn't want it to get back to him. He didn't think it was
Yeah,
going to get back to
and
him.
it got back to him. Your boy, the dirty cop.
My favorite character.
I think, man, I think they at their best for a street thing, they had a great thing going. But I think it was a little on both ends. I think it was at one point, Avon was like, my name is my name. Like, I don't want my name. I don't want to look soft in these streets. So he wasn't trying to cross over and go legit at all. He wanted, no, my name, I'm Avon Barksdale. Even when he got locked up, he was still getting busy. Like, yeah, I'm in jail, but I'm Avon Barksdale in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga was making moves from jail.
Yeah. So, and I think Stringer was, he tried to. It was smart that he was trying to get out of it, but you got to understand what business you in at the end of the day. And I think he was just trying to move completely away from the street thing. Well, in order for your business to work in that lane, you got to be in the streets at some point. So it's messed up that their friendship got divided like that over that. But at their best, they was running everything, man.
Is there ever like a clean way to get out?
It was. They was trying to find a clean way. Yeah. Well, Stringer was, was bigger than what it was, but the whole time he had somebody playing him. You know what I'm saying? He was getting played and somebody was playing him, so that's how the whole thing was coming upon. You feel me? But he was smart as a motherfucker, and he was on top of the numbers. But it's just that he was missing one of the key pieces, and that was Avon. Avon controlled the streets. He controlled the corners.
Controlled the
So
streets.
he just keep the numbers.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And then Stringer was messing with his nephew's baby mom. So he was doing some out of pocket stuff too. As much as I love the character, he was doing some behind the back stuff. He started making way more deals. Avon would tell him don't do it. Stringer would go do it anyway. So, and then Marlo and them just came in hungry, and they had the same kind of formula, but they was some young gunners, man. Like, we about to take y'all spot. They seen a weakness, and they took their spot. So what about the cops, man? The cops on this show.
Back on the cops.
And some of they techniques as far as working and how we seen some of the grimy stuff they did on the show.
The phone shit was impeccable.
That was advanced ahead of its
I don't
time.
think people realized that they were doing that stuff until The Wire came out. Like this cops are really doing things like this, and these police departments, they have these technology to do these things, the tap phones, like.
And just to also see that, like, okay, you only could be on there for a certain amount of time. If you don't hear nothing, you got to get off. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was funny, man. Then they started like using a different phones. So it was like they was trying to play around with them.
Like cat and mouse almost.
Yeah, but I mean, some of these cops use some. It's funny because some of the smartest cops was the cops that didn't really like Freeman, the old black guy. Yeah. Like he was really the brains behind a lot of this stuff. But he ain't getting no shine. But he would just sit back there and play dumb. But he would really have the game changing like techniques and all of that, man. So they did a lot of, and I don't think, even though I know McNulty was a character, but I don't think a lot of that stuff is out of the realm. I think a lot of stuff he was doing is techniques and stuff they was doing in real life because he broke a lot of rules to make arrests.
Yes, he did.
Whether it was knocking off the attorney girl for them to getting warrants and stuff for different things. Like they did a lot of
underhand surveillance.
Yeah. When they wasn't supposed to have wires tapped, they would have wires tapped. When they told them to shut down the whole thing, they would keep it running. Like they were doing a lot of dirty stuff.
It just shows how corrupt like these police departments can really be.
And then the bosses would say no. But then when they see his good results that'll help him, then keep it going. Keep it going.
Don't tell nobody. Keep it.
It's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. And the sad part about that is like, yo, this isn't a show. This is real life.
Yeah.
Like this really happens. It's dudes in jail doing time for illegal techniques.
Yeah.
That officers is doing. Illegal searches.
Yeah.
Illegal, tapping of stuff.
This brought it all the way out.
It did. It did. And if you was in the streets, it had to make you be aware, like,
exactly. They give you all these warning signals of what not to do.
It's a dirty game out here, man. It's a dirty game out here. What about politics, man? I know you say you wasn't a politic person, but it shows some dirty, Like you got people
top level shit.
like people cleaning numbers. Like yo, we gonna take the crimes down for different things. Like they was just matching bodies with anybody. Like yo, they was doing some dirty stuff, man.
Yo,
Yes, it was.
so what made you not like that season or that element of The Wire?
Which one?
Talking about the politics.
The politics. What do you mean?
Just kind of just bored with it, or you just
Yeah, I got kind of bored with it, and then it wasn't really no action and with it on that part. You know what I'm saying? It was what it was, and we seen it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't really no action, and then it seemed like everybody was trying to burn the black guy. You know what I'm saying? And then the here comes the little short white guy saying that, oh, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, you know, everybody voted for him. You know what I'm saying? They cheated.
Yeah.
But
it
really showed who was really in charge. Because, we had the black, they had the black dude that was in position. But that big guy that was in the wheelchair and all that, them dudes was smart. They was the ones that was running the city without running it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And that's interesting that you said that because they had the black mayor and the black mayor took all the heat and the white guy took over. But then when he realized, when he got in that big seat, he realized like, damn, I had all these great ideas in the beginning, but now I got to end up being corrupt too.
Exactly.
So I got all this to get y'all to vote for me because I really was pointing out all this stuff. But now I get in there, I got to do the same kind of stuff. Like that's where the writing is great on this show.
Yep.
And then even like the black police commissioner, like he got to take hits for stuff because he's black. And then, you know, he got to take all these hits for stuff he ain't had nothing to do with, but he got to take it. He got to take the blame.
But it's crazy
for
to
it.
think like, all right, this is just, I mean, not saying Baltimore's a huge city, but this is just a small time. Like imagine like senators, governors and big shit like presidents and all these people that really got to make these undercutting deals.
Well,
with.
investigations started going too high, and then it would get, whoa, what y'all doing? Like, yo, man, we gotta cut this off, man. Like, it got deep. And then what do you think about the media, the print that came in? The media, like, you know, people was getting stories. They was coming with stories. Saying, nah, you can't write that, man. We can't write about that.
that's everywhere though. That's what makes Wire so powerful. It touched on everything, and that's part of it.
I mean, but it's
The
real
write-up and all
though. It's
that.
like, yo, you can't write these.
But when
stories.
it went and actually inside and show how they be doing that shit, it was crazy.
Yeah, and then you got the docs, which you said you like seeing that. That's when you got to see where the product was coming
how it
from.
was shipped in.
Yeah, girls, you know what I'm saying? This is
Sex trafficking.
Yeah, sex trafficking. Like they was doing a lot on the low on the docks, man. They
big containers.
but the thing about the docks is they ain't even like in the hood living flashy lives. They live in regular lives, but it's a lot being moved.
It's a lot of paper.
On a lot of paper. Then you got the Greek, the old guy that nobody even knows who he is, but he just disappeared. Whenever you even get on this, you get on this scent, I'm out. Wow,
Crazy.
Wire was dope, man. What's some of your favorite moments of The Wire? Looking back.
I mean, for me, it always like when man Omar came around, I started running, like clearing the streets, like Omar coming, everybody clear out.
Omar had people shook. Everybody. It's crazy because he had all the drug dealers shook, man. Like
Wow, the trench
you would
coat,
see some suspect
shotgun,
stuff with him in it, and then he come down with his trench coat.
Yeah.
Everybody clear out.
To me, it was impressive when Avon came home and how he took the streets back. You know what I'm saying? Everything got better instantly on the streets. And he was letting him, like, the Stringer know, like, yo, man, we got to keep in contact with the streets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Stringer was trying to do everything in the office. He like, nah, man, this what God is here. You know what I'm saying? We can't be forgetting where God is here. You know what I'm saying? So his whole situation on how he interacted that and, like, he came right back in position and he had everybody ready to ride for him and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that was powerful to me.
one of my favorite my favorite moment on there was when they killed Stringer Bell and the story leading up to that. They had Brother Mousson and Omar together, and they ain't even rock with each other together to set them up in the building, and then they just started shooting them. And that was a dope ass storyline.
Stringer was involved with dirty shit with that. He tried to get he lied on Brother Mousson about the gay boy, so Omar can go find him and shoot him. And Brother Mousson was like, yo, man, I'm at peace with my higher power. I don't know what you're talking about, so if you here to kill me, go ahead.
That's crazy.
That scene was crazy.
That was a crazy scene. The whole let up, that was just dope, man. I was all in. I was all into that. So The Wire birthed a lot of talent. So why do you think The Wire was a birthing point for a lot of people to go on and be bigger in their careers?
Because their overall acting. They grew with us. You know what I'm saying? So they only got better.
I mean, to be on an HBO show, you got to have some type of acting chops. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you're around all this great talent, like, damn, Carl here doing this thing, Friso here doing this thing, I'd have stepped my game up as an actor and just get better and better. I mean, and it's obviously it was getting like real good reviews once the show was coming out and people started to notice more, and it just grew a lot of dope actors out there.
All right. I mean, you got to think, Michael B. Jordan, he was like a baby on this show. Look at him now. He's a superstar. He's a superstar. I mean, even Method Man was on here early. Like, look where he been going with the acting, since then. Like, this a lot of dope people. I mean, with
Idris Alba, he's great actor.
He's the epitome of, like, look at him from here to where he's grown as an actor. He's a top-notch actor now. Yeah. Like, this guy was playing a Baltimore street dude, and he got a London accent. Like, you talking about a great acting?
So that means you beat out everybody else that's from America that has an actual.
And you gotta say he had to be working hard to be able to do that.
You probably got to work even harder to get through there.
Now it's a trend of that. I think he kicked in the door because now they try and give them all the jobs now. I seen a little documentary about that where now they getting all the jobs and the other people not. But
my man Franklin from
exactly. All of them, the dude from All American, like all these. It's like a big rush. But The Wire, man, it created a platform. Like, these young dudes is now great actors. Yeah. Like, they in everything. Like, who would have thought Idris Elba was going to be who he is now when it was The Wire?
Bye-bye.
Michael B. Jordan, he was wearing big, long-ass T-shirts. Even, like, Mac Wilds. Like, he was a young boy on these shows,
They grew with us.
The dude that played Dookie, he's on the new – I don't think you realize the young boy, they call him Dookie.
Yeah,
he's on the We in the City. He's an adult now. You ain't used to seeing him as an adult in a whole different. That's him on there.
I thought that was him.
That's
I gotta
him.
go back and watch it.
He's in there as a whole. Yeah. You just ain't used to seeing him as a whole adult. Right. What's my man? Slim Charles, the skinny dude.
Yeah,
he's DC.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in the new one too. But this show birthed.
My man who played Sean in We Own the City, he was one of the guys too on The Wire.
Yep, man, this show was big. Now they've been hinting for years that on a Wire movie or reboot, mostly they was talking about movies, and they even actually did that with The Sopranos recently. Do you think a Wire movie could work?
Nah.
I think because it's so many different elements. Like, where would you like focus on?
Yeah, it can't because it's so spread out. That's what makes this powerful.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's so spread out.
It's like 5 different elements. Of one
now, if
city.
you would have did the movie first and then you go all the way back and you breaking down all the stuff that happened in the movie, but you taking a long way through it, that would be different.
I think it could have worked, but I think it could have worked not now. It could have worked like if you'd have did it. If you'd have did it like 5 or 10 years after the show ended, then it could have worked. I think
should have did it before they did
too much time passed. But I feel like if they did multiple movies with different elements, it could work. Because one thing I loved about The Wire, well, I don't think we even touched on. One thing I loved about The Wire is that anybody, and I think this show kind of really tapped into this more than anything. Like, anybody could go. A main character could be there one episode, gone the next episode. And the story, it seemed like, oh, how the story? Stringer Bell was my favorite. Like, how the story gonna go without
How can
Stringer?
it continue when
And
you just lost the main
and it
character?
would just continue. Avon Barksdale's not the main focus no more. We got Marlo, but it still worked.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of young boys. Now they're in the schools. Now they're in the newspaper. And it's like the story you kept on watching it.
It's a snowball that gets bigger and bigger as it goes down.
And I don't know, if Snowfall, if my man dies, like if what's her name?
Franklin?
If Franklin dies, like what could the show do? Like
give it off to Leon.
yeah, the
Auntie,
main street guy
uncle.
go. Like I don't know if they could carry it. The Wire was like it just kept on moving. They could lose the biggest part and it just keep on moving. And I think
well, kind of like with Power too. Once Ghost died, it was almost like they kind of spread off and had different shows.
But it's not the same though. It's not the same, man. The Wire.
I think because it started off with everything kind of all at once. You know what I mean? It kind of like one season was with this, next season is this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had this momentum going. Like you know, I don't think The Wire would be what it was if it just was on the street element. You feel like it would be just as big as it is without talking about the politics, the docs, the media.
Nah. They did it right.
Yeah. I don't think it would have lasted.
Because it's more that come with that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you got to show it off if you're really going in there.
I don't think it would have lasted as long if they didn't show all that. Now, The Wire was only 5 seasons. Do you think they got out at the right time, or you think they could have kept it going?
I think they had one more season in them. I think they had one more season on because it really kind of ended when my man, the young boy, he accepted the cop help.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So it would have been different to have him
That'd
be
been
in
cool
the streets but
too.
living. You know what I'm saying?
I think it ended right, or maybe one more season. But I'm not mad at when it ended because I felt like it still ended on top to an sense.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't like stretch it too long to where it got corny. I think the story was still dope. So that's the best way to end a great show like this. To end it while it's
I've
on
been
top.
saying that, yo, a good series only needs like 5 or 6 seasons. Yo, if you can't tell your story in 5 seasons, what are we talking about here?
And
you know what I'm saying?
this show is some of the best storylines I've ever seen in history of shows. Do you think the Wire could exist if it came out today in these times?
Yeah.
You think it would be just as popular?
People want to see it.
So this ain't no time. This isn't set in no time. This could last.
Nah.
This could survive in the 2020s.
It's showing the rural areas of America.
I think now with technology or these social medias, that's a whole nother element that they can tap into.
You think it could even
like,
have more legs to it?
Like people getting busted for showing guns on Instagram. Now we know you got guns, you kicking down your door illegally, but we seen it on Instagram. So like that whole element, and that can wake up a whole bunch of kids and youth, you know what I'm saying? Or just people at the wrong spot, they tagging their location.
Yeah.
We seen you online here, so we tied you to this crime that just happened last night. I think that'd be dope. Even like a small 6-part miniseries, just talking about the street element again, but a 2022-23 version. I think they can definitely do that.
Well, speaking of that, is any shows out now that reminds you of The Wire?
Nah, man, not really, man.
I mean, there's crime shows, but this is kind of like its own entity.
I think, I don't think nothing touched on it like The Wire, but I will say that it's a lot of shows that have Wire DNA in it. Like that We in the City, from the writing perspective, I know it's the same writer, but that reminds me of The Wire.
Yeah.
I actually describe Top Boy as a London version of The Wire. That's how I was saying to people. It's like a London version of The Wire. Snowfall it's Wire-esque. Power is a low budget version of The Wire. It's not as good as it, but it comes from that. No, it does. It's not The Wire because they don't develop their stories. That's one of my problems with the Power. Is I feel like they had some good storylines, and then it just would end in 1-2 episodes. Like, damn, man.
Yeah, it started too fast and ended too fast.
Yeah, just let this thing play out. But I think they have Wire DNA in it for sure. Not as good as The Wire, though.
Now, do y'all think people today would be cool with a show like this, like a slow pace? You know, people want things now, like as far
JT
as
Wentworth.
it's my money. I mean, like as far as the storytelling.
I can't speak for everybody, but I like these kind of shows. I think it's entertaining. I like shows that continue to develop. One thing I like about Snowfall is that it kind of started off slow and it actually got better.
Yeah.
The Wire, when The Wire first started, it was a little. It ain't like it's like the first episode. It was all this drop. It built up and it just got better. By the second season, man, like this show had it on lock by the second season.
That
man.
just shows that it's great writing.
Second, third season, man.
The wheels were turning.
Like the way they built the characters up compared to some of the people that they might have had a smaller parts in the beginning, and then by the end they were a major role. Like they was really building characters. Like
either that or you start off one way and then end this totally different. Like damn, he really changed. Like
right. This was dope, man.
Yeah.
This was dope, man.
HBO does it again.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so why was the hip hop, this Wire show connected with the streets and hip hop heavy? What was it about The Wire that hip hop just loved? Hip hop embraced. It was in lyrics, you know, the characters. Snoop, when she was on the show, Snoop from The Wire, not Snoop Dogg. Like she was heavy with the rap. They had, I remember Freeway had What We Do. He had like the whole Wire cast in the show. Like
Kif just did a Wire dedication with clothing not too long ago. The clothing line Kif, they did something with The Wire. They had some Wire pieces coming out for the anniversary.
So what was it about this show that the hip hop just loved?
It was relatable, Carl. Hip hop is from the hood. Hip hop is made in the urban area.
But I'm saying this wasn't all about Avon and them. Wasn't the whole show? Like
it wasn't. But it was majority of it. How it started off was Avon and them and Hustlers and what we used to seeing the things of that nature in the community. That's how it started off. No matter how far it took us or how long it took us to get back there, we was stuck on that part because we knew it
that's
existed.
all we needed to see, right?
We knew it existed. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was.
So it don't matter. They went to the media, to the docs. You ain't have to see
We
them.
knew that part existed, man, and they showed it. You know what I'm saying? And they continued to visit. You know what I'm saying? They visit the neighborhood. They visit back to the docks. You know what I'm saying? It was,
not only that, but it was well done. It wasn't like some cheesy show. It was like, yo, this is actually a good quality product that they're giving us every week.
And they also included rappers. Like, you know, Method Man was in here. So they wasn't afraid to include, you know, different people. My man, a lot of them are actually artists. Mac Wiles is an artist. The dude that played, I can't think of his name, but the two guys that they won from The Wire that want to play Mobb Deep. The dark skinned dude and then the young, I can't think of both their names. You know what I'm talking
He played in Oz too. Kenny,
Kenny from Oz. Both of them that want to play, and I hope they are able to play Mobb Deep. I think that would be so dope. Sick. But both of them actually do music. Like a lot of them, Idris Elba DJs and does music. So they like, Wood Harris was heavy with Kanye. Like these dudes is connected to the culture too. So definitely. This show was big, man. The Wire was big. 30 years. I mean, I'm sorry, not 30 years. 20 years. 20-year anniversary. Years. The Wire.
Classic.
Wow.
Classic.
20 years.
Wow.
Straight classic.
Man. Now, did y'all watch this every Sunday or did y'all wait till the DVDs to come out?
Nah, I was on it. I was on it, and then I got caught. I got on it kind of late. I'm not gonna lie. I got caught on it kind of late. But as soon as wherever I started at, I watched it from there, and then I went back to see what I missed.
I gotta say, I'm not gonna even front and act like I was like all in on the first episode. I got on it like first season, but like third or fourth episode of the first season, I kind of went back and was like, "Oh, okay, I get it." Because the first episode wasn't like hard hitting. It was a storyline, so it developed. So if you came in at that point and you went back, you're like, "Oh, okay, I see it." Yeah. So I got in the first season within like third, fourth, fifth episode. That's when I kind of connected with it, but man, the story, it got to a point where I was right. I wanted to watch it every episode. And then, and at this point, I was trying to be a good dude. I wasn't even music wise. I wasn't trying to support the bootleg stuff. But this show got so hot, it was like I'm in the barbershop, they watching the bootleg. I can't turn my head. Like, I gotta watch that. Nigga, I mean, you in the first episode of the season, and they got the whole bootleg for the whole season. And you gotta understand, these episodes is like, they could be like 12, 15. These wasn't like the 10 now. Everything is just 10 episode seasons. Yeah. These went past 10 episodes back then. Easily. So this could be like 15 episodes for that season. It was dope, though.
And then also you got to think, too, like at the time, this was coming out Sunday nights at 9 o'clock.
Right.
Like, that was HBO's, like, when you got a good series, that's your slot. Game of Thrones, Sundays, 9 o'clock. Like, that's the end of the week. Everybody's going to be glued to this. It's gonna be a good episode. They're gonna talk about it at work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that was their slot. So
speaking of HBO, is this the best series to come on HBO ever? They got a lot of classic.
HBO
shows.
has a lot of classic shows, man. I was definitely top 5, one of the best, if not the best.
Put it top 5. Ain't no need to work my brain. The Wire definitely top 5.
Hey, I always say this, and people don't like it, but man. I'm going to say this is number 2 to me.
What's your number 1, HBO?
I'm a Sopranos guy, man.
Oh, yeah?
Sopranos was dope. And I know street guys, these guys are going to say Sopranos was a dope show, and it had some, at its best, it had some great writing on there, too. But I'm a Sopranos guy, but The Wire is number 2.
Yeah.
Like, The Wire may have had best, The Wire has some of the best writing ever to me on any show. They may have had that over The Sopranos, but The Sopranos just had some characters to me that like made it stand out differently, man.
Carl think he
I was in the mob,
man.
I was in the mob. I was in the mob. I know you ain't like Sopranos freaks, but
it was all right.
Sopranos
I just ain't
was my joint,
like
man. Sopranos, but other than the Sopranos, I'm taking The Wire. I'm taking the.
I like Oz a lot. That prison show.
Oz was dope.
Oz was good.
Oz was dope. I'll take The Wire over Oz though.
Oh yeah.
All right, so where do you have The Wire ranked in your just drama series period outside of HBO in that lane of shows? Detective, crime, streets, kind of combination kind of shows. We got a lot of them now.
I'm going to probably say top 5.
Yeah, I'm going to say top 5.
I'm still going to put them in top 5.
In that lane, they're number 1. And I can't take Power. I love Snowfall, but I'm taking The Wire over Snowfall. I can't take no show in that lane, like cop crime kind of thing, drama series.
Even though it was made 20 years ago, you still taking this show over Snowfall?
I'll take Wire over Snowfall. Yeah, and I love Snowfall. The Snowfall is the best show on television right now.
Yeah.
What? In that lane, what's better than Snowfall?
Television or period? Ozark to me. I like Ozark.
But Ozark isn't in this lane, though, man.
Ozark is definitely in this lane because Ozark is dealing with the actual people that are in the motherfucking higher motherfucking rankings.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm telling you.
The reason I'm saying
they exist.
I said that Ozark and Snowfall are 2 of my favorite shows, but Ozark don't have no street element. They do deal with drugs, but they don't got no street element to it.
Yeah, but this is a different element. You said overall.
Snowfall had the street element.
Overall.
So you taking Ozark over The Wire?
You didn't limit it. Yeah, I'm taking Ozark over The Wire.
Jeez, I can't. And I love Ozark, but I'll take The Wire over Ozark.
I love Ozark.
I love Ozark. I said Ozark.
I love Ozark because this right here is sort of like predictable because I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Whether it's real life or whether it's
Ozark
in other shows. Ozark showed me a different side.
Is that like the docs part?
Nah, Ozark is higher echelon type shit. Like you don't
suburban
Marty
type.
Bird, motherfucker. Yeah. You'll never see him. You'll walk past Marty Bird, and Marty Bird is.
You walk past Marty Bird in the Gap. You don't know who he is.
But see, that's why I always said that Ozark was in a lane of their own because nobody's seen the middle America, like suburbs, like, some people call it trailer trash involved in the game.
Yeah.
Wire wasn't really covering that. They was covering the street dudes. That's why what makes Ozark unique to me, which makes me love Ozark.
Right.
But they covered a whole different lane to me. But Ozark is a classic show.
Definitely classic show.
But I really don't put that in this one, but I respect that. I don't really put that in the same lane with The Wire. But in this lane, I think they're number one. I can't take none. I love Snowfall. Power was cool when at its best. But I can't take it over The Wire, man. I love The Wire's writing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Wire's good.
Then it's like the whole element of the whole Mexican cartel and Ozark.
Yeah, it goes to another level.
They don't fucking play.
It's the upper echelon.
Well, Wire, man, 20 years. The legacy of The Wire. 20 years later, this show, 20 years, time flies.
Yeah,
but it birthed so many great actors that came from this show, so many great writers, so many people that you didn't even think they was going to be stars, like Michael B. Jordan, Idris Elba. Now they're stars now.
It just the whole crime element, the media, showing the side of the cops, like it's one big conglomerate of crime and how people think, oh, my politician, they nah, these dudes are corrupt. Like, not all of them, but most of them are. They have some element where they have to do something dirty to get something done. And it's just the reality of what it is.
This is a great police street crime drama. To me, it's upper echelon, way at the top. This is writing at its highest level to me. It just covered, like Freak said, just cover all the bases. Like, it covered every lane of life pretty much that you could cover. And then it's from a city of Baltimore. You got the black perspective. You got the white perspective. You got racist perspective. You got the street perspective. You got grimy perspective. Like, you just got all these different perspectives, like, thrown together in this pot as one. And you just really got a chance to just see just great storylines, man. It's like it really covered everything. Any kind of person you want, they was somehow on The Wire. Mm-hmm. Like, it is really dope. I guarantee you a lot of shows were inspired by The Wire. Even the writers and the people behind it took something from The Wire. For sure.
We all know that.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Now, when you all was watching this, would you ever rooting for a character? Like, come on, man.
A lot of them. Like the street dudes, like a great street show, if you love a character, you don't want them to get caught. Yeah. You don't want them to get killed. If they doing the right thing, you saying you don't want them to get killed. You don't want them to get shot. You got the good cops that's looking out for some of the people. Like, you want them to do well. And those normally people that go or something happen to them. But like you wrote, and that's the thing about a great show though. Sometimes you didn't even expect that this episode was going to be one of these characters' last episode, and then after that last episode they die, and you like, wow, like that joint just
came out of
I didn't
nowhere.
expect him to get killed this episode. Even the episode that Stringer Bell got killed, I didn't think that was going to be the episode he got. I felt it was coming, but I didn't think that was going to be the episode he got killed. Like, damn, they're going to take him out. so you don't know how the story's going to go, and then they just keep going. Like, damn. The season's story should be over now. Stringer got killed. Nope, we coming back with another season, man. We gonna keep it moving.
That's how life is. It just keeps going.
So in this show, and even at the end, when they ended the series, they kind of showed the playback, and it kind of showed people dying or people quitting jobs, people getting fired. Then it showed the next person that come up. That's how it ended. I thought that was real dope. It just showed how life move on. We got a new member, a new mayor, a new police commissioner. There's a new young boss on the streets now. Like, everything just kept going.
Somebody got to fill that void.
Somebody that was a soldier, you know what I'm saying?
They got bumped up. Or now you see the person that's dead. You see his family trying to move on. Avon locked up forever. Like, Weebay in jail forever with all these bodies. And it just keeps moving. Matter of fact, Weebay in jail with Michael, because Michael got all the bodies. Remember, it's Michael and Snoop? So now they in jail together. So it's just like, it's a great show, man. Great show. The Wire, classic.
Definitely classic.
Super classic.
Super classic.
Super duper classic.
And this show is on streaming, the streaming sites now. So if you ain't seen it, go check it out.
And it won't be in
I might
HD.
go back and binge watch.
I'm due. I ain't seen it in a while, and I'm not gonna watch my DVDs. So I still got the DVD. I'm gonna go watch it because it's on all the streaming sites. I'm gonna go back and binge watch it from the beginning because it's been a while.
Yeah, that's
and I watched this entirely in its entirety several times, but I think it's about time to go back and watch it again.
It's not going to be in HD, some of the episodes.
No.
So.
But shout out to all the cast. Shout out to the people behind it. I don't know if y'all knew what y'all was doing at the time.
But magic.
But y'all gave us a classic.
Yes, they did. Straight classic.
Definitely.
Thank you. 20 years, man. The Wire, man. Salute to y'all.
There's so much, man, that we didn't cover, but we'd be here forever with this, man. Because The Wire is one of them like TV series that it would just cover so many areas, man.
You can dissect it in so many different ways.
We can name parts for days and where we thought this and that and that and this. You know what I'm saying? But it shows how it really is, man. And that was the gift of it.
Matter of fact, I wish this show was here. You know how we talk about a show after the season? Like, I wish this show was here now, or we could talk about after the season's over. We could break down that season. Yeah, like, this is dope, man. But y'all nailed it. You know, congratulations. This won a lot of awards, Emmy award, different awards for the acting and stuff on this show, man. Congratulations, man. Happy anniversary to The Wire, and thank you, man, for one of the best shows ever. For real.
Word.
But yo, we Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure y'all go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure y'all go download, subscribe, man.
Subscribe button.
We on all digital platforms, man. Make sure y'all go to our YouTube page, man.
Run
subscribe,
them views up.
man. Yo, thank y'all for the love we've been getting on the views, man. On the views, on our videos, man. Continue to go support, man. Tell somebody else, send us to somebody else, recommend us. Continue, man, to support and subscribe to our videos. Yo, man, we here. Long live Taz, man.
Yes.
All day.
We're going to continue to March 4th, brother. We love you, man. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader.
Yes.
We out.
Yeah.
One.